love without armor? How do you maneuver from being in survival mode while in a relationship?
Yeah.
How do you go about dropping your armor safely?
In order to drop your armor safely, you must recognize that you are safe. You must.
That's good.
We out of the war zone, right?
Yeah.
We've made it through. We got the victory. I am safe. You have to understand when it comes to your brain, how many memories it holds,
Right.
how many thoughts that you think. And so when you say it out loud, your mind thought it, you said it, your body reacts.
Yes.
And so now sometimes, even before you say it to your mate, you got to say it to yourself.
I agree with that.
To reassure yourself, I'm in a safe place.
Right. You got to do this too. You in a relationship, you got to do this too.
Yeah, that's good.
So you got to push yourself too. You got to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, beyond like just what you feel like you can do, and give your partner that opportunity to be able to fill in where you may be missing. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, it's really hard to navigate a relationship and sustain a relationship when you're in survival mode.
What's up, family? This is Jay.
And this is Tay.
And you're now tuned in to another episode of the Unscripted Journey podcast. Well, family, I think that we have a great topic for you.
Yes.
This topic was suggested by one of our top viewers.
Our top viewers, Erica.
And so we wanted to dig into this. We wanted to really talk about it, discover, and then kind of just talk about it, give some insight.
Yeah.
Now one thing I'll say, I give this caveat, right? Because I don't want nobody coming after us. We're not counselors. We're not relationship gurus.
No.
We're only just believers, number one, believers in God. And we feel like what we have encountered in our 17 years, it gives us a little bit of wisdom.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and gives us, because my mom would say this, experience is your best teacher.
Yeah, I agree.
And so we're just talking from our experience. We're not saying that this is all facts. This is not looked up or researched. And so we just having a conversation and you know, what works for you works for you.
Right.
Right. And so that's why we want to start off. But Tay, you want to go what we're talking about today?
Okay. So today we're going to talk about love without armor. And what that looks like when you're like in survival mode, but you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And how do you maneuver from being in survival mode while in a relationship, right? Because it's hard. For one, it's hard to be in survival mode while you're in a relationship. And I can say that because I know.
Yeah.
And for two, it's just not a good place to be because it's two of y'all, not just one of y'all.
Yeah,
right?
And I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like I really like this topic because, you know, it kind of exposes some things.
Yeah.
It has you to kind of look at some things. And I think it's easy for us to be in survivor mode. I mean, you know, one of my songs that I like, and you can judge me. You can judge me if you want. Goodness. You know, it's by my girl Beyonce. You know,
a survivor.
No, not that one.
What?
Me, myself, and I. That's all I got in the end. That's what I found out. And so, you know, when you have an attitude, when you've been in some relationships, and then you feel like you can only depend on yourself, then you always go in survivor mode, right? You're always thinking about yourself. You're always thinking about, you know, you coming out good on the end and not the team.
Right.
And so
that's good. Yeah. Just trying to, that's self-preservation.
That's self-preservation, right? And it's real, and it happens in all of us, right? Men and females. And so I think that this is a great topic. And so let's get into it.
Okay. So I think one of the things I can think about is, the first thing I can think about is kind of like, how do we recognize we're in survival mode?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how do you even know that you're in survival mode? And so when I think about that, I think about like, I know that I was in survival mode when it was a lot of I.
Right.
What I can do, I'm just going to have to do this by myself. I need to do this. When I found myself speaking about all the things that I need to do, I realized that I was in survival mode because I'm like, there's no longer just an I, there's a we and an us, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I can think about when being in survival mode, when I was there, was just being like hyper vigilant.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm like constantly scanning, trying to make sure, is anything different? What's happening? Like I'm just constantly constantly on high alert, right? Just constantly high alert mode. I'm checking the scenes for everything. Is everything okay, kosher? You know, kind of like, you know, me and you, we talk about it all the time, but like when you go into a restaurant, like you're checking everything out before you even get comfortable, right? Like you're checking what the exes are. Who's this person here? Like you would even know who that person there was, right? But like these things are going through your mind, and that's exhausting.
No, it is. It's very exhausting, right? And I like what you say is, you know, first off, recognizing it. And I think that in order to recognize, number one, you need to be aware of you, right? You need to be aware of what is good behavior and what is survivor behavior, right? And I say that because a lot of times we make room for it and say, well, that's just how I am. That's just who I am. That's just what I've done. And not saying, well, maybe in what I've done doesn't serve me in this season. Right. Maybe who I was in that season, it required it, but maybe in this season, I don't have to, right? And so being able to recognize it, and I like what you said is, first off, is recognizing your language, right? Yeah. Recognizing the tone and you're saying things, recognizing the I's instead of the we's, right? You know, the me instead of the us's. And so I think that's a big thing, right? Is recognizing that, right? What would you say to somebody who doesn't recognize it? What can I ask you this? What would you suggest to the mate that recognizes, and how should they go about it in pointing out what they recognize?
Right. And that's what I was thinking about just a second ago. I was just going to talk about like that effect on like your person when you're in survival mode. But I think for the person that maybe I don't realize I'm in survival mode, and my person does, I think a good approach would just be kind of like a real, like, just sit down, like, hey, babe, I noticed that blah, blah. I noticed that you keep saying you have to do this. Hey, I'm here to help. You know, how can I help you in this? How can I help you? How can I assist in this? I'm noticing that you're constantly like on high alert. You won't relax, because most times when people on high alert, their body is tense too, right? Like, and your mate can feel that. Like when you walking around tense, usually your shoulders are up, or like, you know, your person can see when you're not relaxed. Like they can see your body language change. So just being able to tell your person that, like, hey, babe, like, I noticed you kind of like look uptight. Like, you okay? Is everything all right? Right. And I think that goes a long way, because sometimes that can break a barrier just to the other person, because they realize, oh, they see me.
They see,
right? Like, this person sees me. This person sees that I may be struggling with something. This person sees something that I may necessarily not have seen in myself. And I think that can go a long way. I think that can definitely give a little bit of leverage to the other person. I mean, to that person, right? And when I say leverage, I use that loosely, but I'm just saying it gives a little bit of brownie points. Like if my person is saying something about me that I may not know, and then they say it, and I'm like, you know what? My shoulders are kind of tight, or I have been walking a little like, you know, speedily. I haven't been like being like, hey, light, and, you know, things like that. That will let me know that my person cares about me, and maybe drop a guard a little bit. You know what I mean?
No,
So I think that's a good way.
It's definitely a good way
for your person.
I would bring an example, and I don't know if you remember this. Early on, we were dating. We would get in arguments, and those arguments would be over some small, simple things, right? And you would just be like going in. And so, and I was just like, what is going on? Like this wasn't a huge issue, right? And it wasn't, and this is why I say, I would preface this by saying, this is why somebody in there has to be prayed up, if not both of y'all.
Yes.
Because when you're prayed up and you're not going into it in your own thinking, your own flesh, your own mindset, God can lead you. And I never forget, while you were going mid like rant, I just grabbed you and said, hey, I'm not that. I'm not him. And it was like that moment where you kind of like snapped to and just kind of looked at it differently. Like, okay, like, he's acknowledging that, some of these things that I'm saying.
Yes, something's happening right now. Something's going on right now. Yeah.
These things are, half of it wasn't even meant for him, right?
Yeah,
and so I think that the mate, and this is what I would say to the one who's on the receiving end, you have to be in a place to where you're not always with your armor as well.
Right.
So defensive.
That's good. That's
right?
really good.
And so you have to be able to, while you see your mate's armor is up, you have to be willing to let yours down.
Yes.
In order for them to say, oh man, and then you to be able to combat it, not in how you feel or defense mode, but combat it in a way to where it's like it can be received, right?
Right.
And that's the thing, because sometimes, in all honesty, you're not going to recognize yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be somebody else calling it out, right?
Right.
And so it has to be called out in love, right?
Yeah.
It has to be. And so I think that's a good one, right?
Yeah,
just being able to recognize that, man, that when you're in survival mode, and just being cognizant of that, right?
Yeah.
Being cognizant. And I think now, and let's go to the other side, right? That when you have done the work, right? When you have done the work, and you still confine yourself in survival mode, what I would suggest is saying, hey, healing doesn't always mean the triggers are gone.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I would say like this, healing doesn't erase memory.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like this. If somebody busts you upside your head right now, and you got a scar on it, you're gonna be healed.
Yeah.
But every time you go to the mirror, you're gonna be reminded of the scar, right?
Right.
And so healing doesn't always, healing doesn't erase the memory.
Right.
And so you have to understand that, okay, we've done the work, we've been to therapy, we healed, okay, yeah, and kudos to you, right?
Yeah.
Because you're talking to two people. Two people are talking to you that gone to therapy, in therapy, have healed from things. And so, but that doesn't negate that there's still memories, right?
Right.
There's still things that has happened in our past. Watch this. There's still things that's happened in our relationship.
Yeah.
Right. That has kind of gotten us to on the edge in survival mode, right? And so I would say to each other, first off, be patient with yourself.
Right.
Don't be so hard on yourself when at times you find yourself in survival mode.
Yeah.
And then don't be so hard on your spouse.
Yeah.
But then what I would say is, even though you have the memory, lean into the healing, not the hurt.
Right. Because when it comes to, like you said, when it comes to the memory, like you said, it's always going to be there. The trick with the healing is how you navigate it when it comes up.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's how you navigate it when it comes up. When you see the scar, what is happening? What is triggering your thoughts? Right? Is it like, "Ooh, thank God I made it out"? Or is it I still can't believe they bust me upside my head like that? So it's like, it's all in like, the memory is there. It's all in how you deal with the memory when it comes up. So so I definitely agree. Something you said that was really good was like, when like your person they may not recognize that they're in survival mode, or they have that survival mode language, but the other person being able to be like, okay, it's not about me right now. Let me digress so that the greater good of our relationship can make it. Let me figure out how to support my person right now. You know what I mean? And I think that's good, because
that's
I'm like,
so
that's just the basis
of
a relationship.
That's the basis of a relationship.
And marriage is just this compromising situations that you find yourself in, where your person may not always be at their 100%. They may not always be at their 50, but it may be your turn to be the supporting character. You know what I'm saying? Okay, like, what does my person need? So I thought that was really good, because I think that that's just something that definitely may be needing to be acknowledged. Like, when you're in a relationship, sometimes your person may need a little more support than you at the moment, even though you both may be at a place of like, I'm kind of offended, or like, what's going on here? Like, one person needs to digress. One person needs to be prayed up. One person needs to say, okay, I'm gonna lean back right now so I can support this person.
No, yeah, most definitely. Because, and I say that because it's so easily to put your guard up and defend yourself instead of discovering it and really asking like, okay, I thought we were kind of cool with this. Right. I thought we were kind of past this. Like, what happened in this moment that brought back? Like, what about this moment gave you a flashback? If not, what about this moment? Like, and I think that when you discover that, then you can say, okay, cool. Well, let's just deal with that. Yeah. Right? Let's deal with that. But when you are always on the defense, it's just going to be a back and forth and nothing is going to be solved. Right. Right. And so I think that's very true because we've experienced it. Of course. Right. We've been through that. We've seen it. Right. Yeah. And I am one to really say and encourage each other relationship to say, hey man, take a breath. Yeah. Right? Like take a breath and don't be so judgmental, right? Right. Don't be so, number one, don't be so hard on yourself when you be like, man, I've done the work. I should be over this right now. That's number one. But then number two, to the mate, don't be so like, man, like, come on, like get it together. Yeah. Like there has to be a patience, right? Yeah. Patience with yourself, but then also a patience with your spouse. And so that's what one thing I would say, like, don't be so hard that if you've been triggered by something, right? Right. Don't be so hard that when, something kind of brings up a memory, right? But be more engaging to say, I'm not going to let that memory linger. Right. Right. I'm going to let it be, oh man, this is so good. It goes back to what we say to our kids in our affirmations. Yeah. Our moments will not affect our day. Yeah. Right. And so let that just be a moment. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we've been saying some good stuff. So we've kind of talked about like how to recognize that you're in survival mode. Yeah. We kind of talked about like healing doesn't erase the memories. Yeah. And so another thing that pops to my head when I'm thinking about it. So since we've talked about recognizing it, once you recognize it, what do you do? How do you go about dropping your armor safely? Right? Like, how do you go about dropping your guard safely? So when I think about this, I'm thinking about, okay, how can I go about coming from like a place of like, I got to do this. Oh my goodness. Scanning the room. What's happening, to a place of like, okay, let me settle in. Let me get comfortable. You know what I mean? And the first thing I can think about is like just making small steps. Like, since you are in survival mode, or if you are in survival mode, you're probably not sharing much. You know what I mean? Because typically somebody who's in survival mode is very protective about themselves, right? We talked about that self-preservation, about the things that have happened to them. And so maybe just taking like some small steps to be vulnerable with your person. Maybe in like I said, very small steps, like some low risk vulnerabilities, you know what I mean, with your person, and share that with them and see how that goes. You know what I mean? Trust in yourself enough to know, hey, I can do this. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you want to do this because it's hard. It's really hard to navigate a relationship and sustain a relationship when you're in survival mode. You know what I mean? No, that's so good.
So what do you think about that?
No, I like that, right? Is dropping your armor safely. How do you do that? Well, the first thing is, in order to drop your armor safely, you must recognize that you are safe. Yeah. Right? You must.
That's good. Yeah.
You must recognize, okay, I'm not in the war zone anymore. Yeah. Right? And I love this because when I think about this, when we used to get deployed, they used to have a reintegration briefing that you've been away and your mind has been totally different, right? Your family has been in a safe zone, and they've been operating, and you've been in war zone, right? You've been in, how do I just survive, right? And so they say when you reintegrate, like, go slowly.
Yeah.
Right? Reintegrate back into your family step by step, right? And so, but then one of the things is knowing that you're back safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we operated with our guards up, right? With armor on, with weapons, like every day, head on the swivel. And so when you are in this space, right, you got to first recognize, man, I am safe. Right. We out of the war zone, right?
Yeah.
We've made it through. We got the victory. I am safe. That's recognizing number one.
Yeah.
Number one, I'm safe. Number two, recognize that the mate I'm with, watch this, we can trust each other.
Yeah.
So, and even if now let's go here.
Yeah.
What if trust has been, damaged a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Well, here, in order for trust to be restored, you gotta
a little bit at a time.
Right? Yeah. And so again, you gotta be able to say, okay, I gotta trust.
Right.
I gotta give my mate this opportunity to prove to me, to show me that they can deal with this. They can handle me with care. Right. I am safe. Right? And so to prove to me that I am in a safe place. So number one, I'll say is knowing that you're in a safe place. Number two, I will say trust. But then number three, this is what I'll say is lean into the good memories.
Yeah.
It ain't always been bad.
Right.
Right? Like lean into, man, stop leaning into the what ifs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when I say what ifs, the negative what ifs. Right? If I do this, then it's no. Lean into, well, if I do this, the possibilities that can come out of this.
Right.
So I would say lean into that when I would say, dropping it safely. How would you respond to that?
I think the same thing. I think what you said is very good because I think, like you said, even coming back that trust, just those little steps.
Yeah.
Like and in trust and being in survival mode, also like it's like a lot of like I said before, it's a lot of like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You got to do this too. You want a relationship. You got to do this too.
That's good.
So you got to push yourself too. You got to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, beyond like just what you feel like you can do, and give your partner that opportunity to be able to fill in where you may be missing. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, whether that is trust, you know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. Small little things. Okay, I trust to tell you this that I haven't told anybody else.
Yeah.
I trust to tell you this.
Yeah.
And be okay with that. And trust yourself that what you did was out of a place of love. And so that's it. Yeah. And just leave it there. Yeah. So I think I agree wholeheartedly with you. It's just those little steps with dropping your armor. It's definitely making sure that recognizing that you're in a safe place, right? Yeah. That was really good because I think it goes without saying. If you feel like you're not in a safe space, you're not going to drop your armor. Yeah. But then that goes into trusting yourself. Did you put yourself in a safe space?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you made a good decision?
Yeah.
And if you feel like you made a good decision, then act like it. You know what I mean? Like, good. and that goes into you, right? Yeah. Like, and you never know what may happen, but lean into you too. Like, hey, I put myself in this place feeling like it was going to be a safe space. So I need to act like it, right? Yeah. I need to act like I trust the decision that I made and give my person an opportunity
to prove. That's so good.
And to show me that, hey, not only are they a safe space, but hey, Tay, you too can make a safe choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that all those things go into, dropping your armor, making sure you're in a safe space, being one little step at a time, but it takes a lot of work on your end. And it, like you said, it takes some patience on your partner's end.
No, most definitely.
You know what I mean? And then, so one thing that you talked about was, leaning into the good. Yeah. And so I would think another thing that comes to mind is just celebrating those small wins, right? Like when you're with your person and you feel like it's a safe space in that moment, just being like, babe, I'm feeling real good. I feel real comfortable and like safe with you. Like actually saying those things out loud. You know what I mean? To your person. Because your person has been there trying to ensure like, let me make sure they safe, because I already know what they've been through. I already know their situation. I already know how they're feeling. And for yourself to hear it, like, I am safe. Like reassurance in yourself and reassurance in your person.
And that's so good. because you have to understand when it comes to your brain, how many memories it holds,
right?
How many thoughts that you think, and so when you say it out loud, watch this. Your mind thought it. You said it. Your body reacts.
Yes.
And so now, sometimes, even before you say it to your mate, you got to say it to yourself.
I agree with that.
To reassure yourself, I'm in a safe place.
Right. I do a lot of self-speak. Okay. I do a lot of self-speak, a lot of self-talking to myself.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that.
And you have to celebrate that, right? And you have to be able to, and I love that what you said, right? Celebrate those small moments, because those small moments turn into big moments.
Yes.
Right? And they turn into big wins and big victories.
Yeah.
And so I think that you have to celebrate that. And not just for yourself. I think your mate, it's okay for you to be with your mate and you see your mate's growth and you to be able to encourage that.
Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you, and ladies, I'm going to say this to you. You have the power to make or break your man.
Yes.
Like, and I say this because women, sometimes I don't feel like they really know how powerful they are, especially with their words. Because in all honesty, y'all got some slick tongues, right?
Yeah.
And powerful tongues, right? And I'm not throwing no shade. I'm just showing facts. I'm just saying facts. And whenever my wife says something positive to me, it makes me feel like, man, I'm the king, right?
Yeah.
I can run through this wall and like, I don't care who got something to say against me. She done said, like she done affirm. And so I'll say that both ways, brothers, men, you got the power to make or break your wife.
Right.
And so you have to understand when you see your mate's progress, right? Because we're so big on pointing out the negative.
Yeah.
Be just as big at pointing out the positive.
Right.
Be just as big as affirming and saying, man, I see you out here. You doing it. I see you putting in the work. It's helpful, and because that matters.
Yeah,
right? That matters.
Definitely agree.
Because it lets you know that your spouse sees you. It lets you know your mate sees you. And I don't know who would think otherwise, but we want to be seen.
Right.
You know
I agree.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's
everybody wants to
everybody
be seen.
wants to be seen.
Yeah. And so so I just think that that's so good, because like we just talking about being in survival mode, and like sometimes if you're the person in survival mode, sometimes you feel like it's not much you can do besides like, okay, you trying to work on like, how do I get out of here? And that's a lot of work in itself, right?
Yeah.
But just to be able to tell your person, that's something that you can do.
Yeah.
And those moments that like you feel good, you feel at ease, they're making you feel comfortable. They're making you feel like, out of all that other stuff that you feel like, I'm trying to break this, I'm trying to break that, you can break that. And like you said, that can go a long way by just being like out loud to them, like, I'm really feeling safe and comfortable. I really appreciate what you've done, and you hanging in there with me, and your patience with me can go a long way. And so, so I think that, just those little small steps, I just think it takes small steps. I think, like we said already, we just talked about recognizing it, being able to drop your armor safely, and celebrating those wins. I think those are all like very key points in how to get out of that survival mode just a little bit at a time.
No, I like that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's your takeaway. That's your kind of...
Yeah, we can say that's my takeaway. But because I, just thinking about it, I just feel like those are like really, really kind of quick things to think about when you're in survival mode and you're like, okay, how do I get out of here? How do I even start? Those could be very good starting points.
Yeah. No, I love that. I would end like this.
Yeah.
Dropping your armor does not negate what you've been through.
Right.
Dropping your armor does not acknowledge that you've been through what you've been through, right?
Yeah.
But then what it shows is that you're open and you're willing to receive love again.
Right.
We all have been through some things.
Yeah.
We've all have been hurt. And so you have to ask yourself, right? Do I want to go into this, what I'm in now, or I want to continue in this same space of being, always on guard? Or do I want to be in a place to where we can get to where it's safety for the both of us?
Yeah.
And so what I would say is be patient with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And then encourage each other, right?
Yeah.
Encourage each other while y'all go through the growth of going from survivor mode to safe mode.
Yeah.
Because those are two different modes, right? Safe mode. Listen, I love safe mode, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I would say. Be patient. Give yourself grace. Give your spouse grace.
Yeah.
And love each other through it to a better place.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
I think that's great.
Think that's great?
Yeah, I think that's great.
Come on. Come on.
I think that's great.
Well, listen, family. I'm Jay.
And this is Tay.
And you were just tuned in to another episode of the Unscripted Journey podcast. We love you. Peace out.